Could you make a video on how to set up Reaper? Alright then, let's get to it. I'll be doing this in multiple videos, and in this one, we'll be looking into some of the defaults which are weird and sometimes annoying. I go by these names in streaming platforms, but here you can call me ADK. Let's start with the mouse wheel, which does horizontal zooming by default instead of vertical scrolling. To fix this, go to Actions, Show Action List, or press question mark on the keyboard. Click Find Shortcut, hover here and scroll. That selects the mouse wheel action which is currently set to zoom horizontally. Remove all existing shortcuts and add a new one. Hover here, hold Alt and scroll, which is a very common shortcut for horizontal zoom. Then click OK. Override mapping, of course, OK. Now Alt plus scroll does horizontal zoom, but normal scrolling is gone. So in action window, we filter out scroll vertically, which is this one here. Delete its existing shortcut and we add just a simple mouse wheel scroll. And OK. Now scrolling also works, but it's too slow for my taste. So now we go to Options, Preferences, or press Ctrl+P. Under Appearance, find Zoom/Scroll/Offset. Here we set vertical scroll step to 10% of Arrange View height, which is this height here. We apply that, and now it feels much better. While we are here, I want to change something else too. Now when we zoom, you can see that this edit cursor becomes the center of the zoom. So we are going to change the horizontal zoom center to mouse cursor. We apply that, and now the mouse cursor itself will be the center of the zoom. We are not done yet, because if we open up the MIDI editor, the mouse wheel still does horizontal zoom. So we bring up the action list again and make sure that the section is set to MIDI editor. Previously it was set to main, and the actions that we changed were part of that particular section. So we repeat the same process. Click Find Shortcut, scroll, select the action, delete the shortcuts, and add our own shortcut. OK, and now horizontal zooming works. Now filter out scroll vertically, delete the shortcut, add our shortcut which is normal scroll, and we are done. Scrolling works. Now by default, we can hold down the scroll wheel to do hand scrolling in the MIDI editor, which I really like, but it does not work in the Arrange view by default. So we open Preferences, under Editing Behavior, we select Mouse Modifiers. Make sure the context is set to Arrange view and Middle Drag. Double-click Default Action and set it to Hand Scroll. Apply, and it works here as well. Now the whole navigation feels a lot more natural and intuitive. When we import audio files into Reaper, a folder gets created in the same location as the audio files. The folder holds peak files, which are essentially cache files that Reaper uses to display these audio waveforms. They are very tiny in size and can be deleted, because whenever Reaper needs to show the waveforms, it will regenerate those files. The issue is, over time, our system is going to get scattered with these ReaPeaks files across different directories. To fix this, we open up Preferences. Under Paths, we can see this option, Store all peak caches in alternate path. We enable that and click on Browse. Here, we direct it to a folder where we intend to store the ReaPeaks files across all the projects that we will be doing in Reaper. For me, it's going to be in D drive, Reaper temp, and ReaPeaks. Select folder, and now ReaPeaks will be stored in this location. There is one more setting I would like to do, that is default recording path when project is unsaved and no recording path is configured. So I'm going to browse to that Reaper temp folder that we just made. Here, I'm going to make a folder for storing recordings of unsaved projects. Select that folder, apply, and OK. By default, envelope points can cross each other, which can mess up our automation envelope. So we open Preferences. Under Editing Behavior, select Envelope Display. Here we have this option, prevent mouse edits of single envelope points from moving past other envelope points. We just have to enable that. Then click Apply. Now the points won't cross anymore. Now if I move this point up and down, we can see this weird relative motion, which we can see here, relative mouse edits for these two options, which we are going to disable and apply. Now the points stick to the mouse properly. Every item is loopable by default, but for one-shot samples and for recordings that we do in the DAW itself, It doesn't make sense to me. We could right click the item, go to item settings to disable this loop item source. But to do this every time is a bit inefficient. So we're going to change the defaults by going into preferences. Here we go into item loop defaults and we can see loop source for all of these items. To keep things consistent, I'm going to disable looping for everything and apply. Now, anything we drag in will not be loopable by default, but still it extends this empty space, which is also weird for me. So we go to preferences again and then look for editing behavior where we can find mouse modifiers. Here you can see the context is set to media item edge. Well, probably because the last click was on the edge of an item. Anyway, in this page we can see this option limit edge edits to source media content for unlooped media items, and we are going to enable that and click apply. Now the item will not extend beyond its actual length. While we are on this preferences section, let's change this context to double click, and then I'm going to double click on this default action and select this to bring up the action list. Here we search item loop source. So this thing here, loop item source, is the exact same thing that we use to toggle looping for an item. So we're going to click that and select it. Now double clicking the edge of an item will toggle looping for that item. Double click here, it becomes loopable. Double click again, unloopable. Now for this looped media item, double click, looping off, double click, looping on. And it works on both the ends of the item. Everything that we do in REAPER gets recorded in the undo history. We can see that in the undo history window. But by default, it also records things like item selection changes, which you can see here. And it even records closing windows. Now these aren't really meaningful edits to the project. So the problem is, these can actually mess up our undo workflow. So again, we go into preferences, switch to undo section where we can see include selection. And we are going to disable all of these options. There is one more option which is not seen here. To find that, I'm going to type in undo points in here and click find. That's not the one. Yeah, this is the one, which is actually in plugins section. And the option is do not create undo points when closing effects windows. We just enable it and click apply. If we click anywhere on this line, then the fader jumps to that position. Very prone to misclicks, right? To fix this, we open the preferences. Then under editing behavior, go to mouse, and then here is the option ignore mouse click unless directly on fader handle. We just enable that and click apply. Now there won't be any misclicks because the fader will only move if we actually click on the fader itself and then drag it. When we open REAPER, it loads up the last active project. This might not be a huge issue but can be annoying if the last project is a large one and takes time to load, while we might just want to start something completely new. So to fix that, we open up preferences. Under general, we can find open projects on startup. You can change this option to what you want. I prefer changing this to prompt. I'm going to apply and OK, because now when we open up REAPER, it will prompt us what to do. We can load the last active project, we can start a new project, we can choose from templates, and it will even show a list of recent projects. And there you go. I think that covers all the weird and annoying defaults. And if you ever set this up again, maybe on a different system, you do not have to go through all of these if you export these configurations for importing it later. And here is how to do it. Open preferences. Under general, we have export configuration. In this window, we can choose which all settings will be included in the backup file of configuration. It's always safe to include all the settings in our backup. Once everything is selected, we click save. Now we go to a directory and then give the file a name and click save. Wrote 12 files and here is the backup of the configuration. Next time we have to set up REAPER, then we can go to preferences. Under general, we click on import configuration and simply open our configuration backup. It will say that REAPER will restart. We click on OK. And in this window, we can choose which all settings to be configured from this backup file to our new REAPER setup. I'm just going to keep everything enabled and click on import. Now REAPER will restart with our backup configuration. By the way, the configuration file I exported will be available for download down in the description. And with that, we'll continue setting up REAPER in the next video, which actually includes workflow improvements. See you there.